Hello and welcome to a official newsletter. No. It's the weekly review. Although low key, this is kind of my newsletter that I give out to everyone. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, let's go ahead and look at all of the information that is up right now, and let's see what we can glean from this and learn. And as always, I make these videos based off of information that I gather off of Webtoons. So it's not like I have any sort of have any sort of insights into how they are tracking stuff. This is just based off of the public information that I glean from their website. The weekly review does go up on my other socials much sooner than they go up here. So if you want to know what the totals are before I do the actual live stream, you can always follow me on all of those socials. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So it is week number 8, and the submission total it's kind of shocking to me because compared to other contests that were like in the 6,000s, like we're not even at 50%. I mean, we're at like a 47%, but like it's just so strange to me that we're not even halfway where other contests in the past have been. And I would be really interested to know like what happened here. Like, was it just a disinterest? What was it? But I will say, here's the bright side of that. Less competition. And I know a lot of people don't like to think of this contest in this way, but it is a competition. It's going to be boiled down to just a few. And just think about the fact that because there's not as many submissions, then possibly that means that you have a chance to shine even more. And I've been seeing some really good entries from everybody. So let's look at this. So the positions have actually changed this week, which is kind of crazy. They haven't changed by much, but Epic is still leading the charge, which I feel like it's really telling how interesting, like for a site to focus on romance, that there is this amount of interest for Epic. And I say romance, but I'm including romance and drama. But I'm just looking at the fact that there's so much potential in the Epic category. And I know a lot of people like hone in on just action, but I'm talking about just like the concepts, like the fantasy aspects. Like there's so much potential here that is not being utilized that it's kind of shocking to me. And maybe Webtoons feels like they don't need to venture too far into that genre because they have so much of that coming from their imports. Like when you look at their imports, like you have Omniscient Reader, you have like The Last Necromancer, like you have all of these really high fantasy series that maybe they felt like they had enough of those already. And that's why this genre on the American side, we see less of those because maybe they don't want anything competing with those series at this time. So it's really interesting to see this. But I personally think that Epic might hit 1,000 before the conclusion of the contest, which would be super duper cool. Feels has gone up as well. It's right at like 700 almost, which is pretty good. I also feel like both of these categories have the most competition, which makes sense to me. But I will say I'm just shocked that there are not more. Like I really thought Feels would be leading the charge in the competition. Now here's a little bit of interest that we have here. Gripping and Laughs switch positions. So Gripping is over Laughs by 6 entries. So Gripping is at 496 and Laughs is at 490. So we saw like a big, not necessarily a big, but we saw a bit of a boost in Gripping where they had almost 60 entries for last week, and Laughs kept a consistency around like just 40. So I really think we're going to start to see a lot of people like throwing in those last minute entries because your boy's going to be one of them. Like I am going to enter the contest. It will either be late Wednesday night, depending on how closely I get done to finish everything, or Thursday morning. It will probably be Thursday morning, which is scary to say. Oh, yes. I'm not sure how to say your name. Narswar? Woo, it's a rare sighting to catch you live, lol, because we live in a different time zone. I've been getting that as a lot of messages from people lately, and so I'm going to try and do some different streams here and there go in the future, just to kind of get a chance to talk to some people that I don't normally get the chance to talk to. So I just want to put that out there. So hopefully I can do some streams maybe in the morning. I'm not a morning person, but that's how much I enjoy talking with you guys, that I'm willing to sacrifice a few hours of my sleep to get up here early to yap with you. All right, so let's move on and see about the top likes. So we're gonna look at like the series that are like really pushing forward in leading in the likes. And again, all of this is very arbitrary with the audience participation, because there's so much more involved in like cultivating an audience than just likes or views or comments. So I take all of this to a relative extent, but this was an option of sorting that Webtoons gave to us, and I felt like it was important to cover that, because that is the only real key indicators to us, in my opinion, that shows like Webtoons has some sort of interest in this, because like you're able to sort by likes and by views, so something about that is kind of important. Hi, Princess. Okay, so we did not have any sort of changes in likes. We did get to see that Red Whirl is still leading the charge, and they got a major boost in their likes because they have moved up to over 9,000. Now, their subs and everything is still low, and their views is low, but I will say that like sometimes I think people have this idea that maybe like people are paying for likes or paying for views or something like that, but I don't necessarily find this to be that strange, to be honest, because I will give likes to series, or I will view series that, like, on the view side, I will look at a series, read it, enjoy it, never leave a like, never leave a comment, never sub. And I will do the same for the like side of things. I will read a series, like it, and that's all they will get from me. And so I don't necessarily think that there's any sort of hanky-panky going on. Like, you can take that as you want, because people are saying like I'm not seeing the numbers, but I just want you to take a second to really think about how you interact yourself with social media type posts. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of influencers that you probably see or watch on a regular basis where you might really enjoy their content but never sub, never like. And I bring this up because I think some people just think people are gaming the system, and some people are, but sometimes that's not always the case. So I think that this creator is probably just doing their best. They do have 17 episodes, and 17 episodes does, allow for a lot of interaction between their different viewers. And so, if they have 700 people that like every single episode, then like let's just do the math really quickly, just to kind of like give you guys some insight. So if I have 17 episodes and I have 700 people that are actively engaging with my content, that means across 17 episodes it would total 11,900 likes, and that's if every single person liked the episode. So it's not a crazy number if you have a really active, really involved community. Like, you just have to think about things like that. Like, it might seem like a big number, but if, like, for instance, if you guys who are actively watching my content, actively like every video, if you look at my stats, you look at my watch time, you'll be like, oh my God, like, your watch time does not equate to the number of subscribers that you have. But if you have a really active, engaged fan base, you can have really big numbers. Okay, so then we have Vampirus, which is continuing, in my opinion, to really showcase like an example of a very engaged fan base. Like, the way they crafted their series, like their likes and subs are almost equal to each other. Crazy. Like, the sub count versus the like count should be low. like you should have more likes than you have subs, but like apparently people just love this series so much that they sub, and it's off by 3. That's how crazy that is. Like, super crazy. The views, they did get a decent increase in views, and the last time they posted was April 11th. So for this series to have been posted almost a month ago and still be in the top, it just goes to show like how a series can stand on its own, how a series can speak for itself, where your strategy, if you have really good episodes, like if you only had 3 really good episodes, I think that it could still be competitive. Like sometimes I think people think like I need more quantity over quality, but if you have really really good quality episodes, like they can just do the work for you. All right, Love Struck. Well, but I'm not disregarding any sort of strategies where people are like, well, no, my strategy is to post more to see more, because we see that with Red Roll. But anyway, so back to Love Struck. Love Struck released a new episode and they're still doing really good. Their numbers are not as big as the other two, but I think that just shows like that the story that they've crafted is doing well and doing the job that it's supposed to do, and the algorithm may not just be picking it up, or it might be getting buried. There's like a number of things that could be going on. They did post again on May 2nd, so hopefully that will give them a boost to push them forward even further, but I think that they're all doing really great. And this is something that I've started to mention. All 3 of these series had previous series that were connected to them specifically, so I mentioned that because I think sometimes people are like, if you don't mention it, like why? That's where they're getting their followings, their fan base from. And so they have a bit of a leg up. I agree and disagree with that. I don't know if like if I made another YouTube channel, if all of you would go to the other YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a number of parameters that go into this, where it's not just a 1-for-1. Like you have to have a really strong fan base that's willing to just do whatever you say in order to get like really big numbers. So here are the top, oh, I didn't change this. Oops, it's supposed to say top 10. So here are the top 10 in likes. And so we can get a nice overview of all of the different series that are, you know, really competitive and doing really well. And just, I think showcasing that all different types of stories can be really impactful on the platform, regardless of artistic style, of skill level, of aesthetics, of anything. So I think like genre, I think it's just so important to keep in mind that your story, regardless of what anyone says, with the right refinement, with the right feedback, with the right marketing, it can be successful. So even if you do not win the contest, just know that your product can have value and can garner its own fan base. So let's go ahead and talk about the top views. Oh, let me check chat real quick. Love Stuck be climbing up the ladder. Love Stuck is doing so good. Struck. I feel like I continue to say it wrong. Hi, Perry. Like I just can't get it right. You don't know who Pollo is. Pollo is my fearless leader. I serve them. Join the cult of Pollo. Join the cult of Pollo. It shows me a different comic in the second place. So if you're looking at, this is based off of previous, like this is the stats from Monday. So if you're looking at it currently, it's going to be different. Like I have not had time to make a stream for Monday, but I saved all the information from Monday. So this is like a week late, but so on Monday, that will be week 9, and you will be able to see who the new reigning champions are of the platform. So if things look different, that's what it is. I feel like I've explained this before. No? Did I not? Oh, anyway, what happens is, maybe I didn't explain this in the beginning. Every Monday around 8 o'clock, I will get the stats for the week, and I will do my best to stream that day. But if I do not have time and I'm not capable, then I will delay doing that stream. But I will give you the information that I recorded on Monday. So like if we do another weekly stream, and so that will be week 9. That will be on Monday, even though we just had the weekly review today. All right, so let's look at top views. So actually, there was someone who jumped into top views, which I thought was super cool. And not necessarily just because of the fact that it pushed a series out. I just thought it was nice to see, like, you know, series that, have not been in the top 3, have not been necessarily pushed forward yet, they were able to jump into the leading spot. And so shout out to this creator, Take Me Out. I think that's awesome. So looking at Monster Odyssey, it is still reigning supreme. Its numbers are still super high in views, like 55,000. Insanity. Like, I don't know. Like, I really, really want to know why people are clicking on it. I just wish, like, I could talk to people that are clicking on it that are readers to be like, what's making you click on this? Like, what's making you interested? Like, do you think the character's cute? Is it like, what's the vibe? Like, what is it? Like, I would just love to know so that I could bottle that and I could, like, sell it. But I guess we could also ask the creator why they think that their series is doing so well, why people are looking at it, checking it out. Now, the only things and everything else for this series is normal. Like, I feel like, it has 8 episodes. The likes are normal. The subs are normal. Comments are normal. Its rating is pretty normal and standard. So I just really want to know what the magic sauce is here, because I feel like they're cooking. They're cooking. They're doing so good. We've already talked about Vampirus, but again, I feel like it's just a really good example of a strong fan base, of having really engaging episodes, and I definitely want to study this series to figure out like what it is doing right and why it's doing so good. And so now we can finally talk about Take Me Out, which is actually really interesting because I think this is the first romance series that has been in the top 3. Love Stuck, I can't remember now. My brain is like whatever it is. That one is a drama series, I think. And so it's interesting to see a new genre jump into the top 3 as well in something. So it has 5 episodes. They recently posted it on May 4th, and we've seen them in the top 10 before, but they never broke forward. So I wonder if there was like a social media post that really helped them, or if there was, just the algorithm on Webtoons helping them. Like, I wonder what it was. I have seen that like people that I've been talking to have have been implementing different marketing strategies that has really boosted their platform. And I think I talked about this before, like, shorts, posting on multiple platforms can really be like a huge boost to your series. Like, one creator, I think they posted, it might have been 2 weeks ago, and they've already hit the 1,000 benchmark because of like how good their marketing is. Love Stork works. Yeah. Maybe their post on socials got viral and that's why their views numbers went up. Yeah, so the creator of I'll Keep Your Secret had a post go viral and it really boosted their series. Like, I think it got like 1 million views on TikTok or something. Like, the algorithm really picked it up and they just got like a huge increase. Like, they pushed for it. So look at creators who are like just doing so good in the game and really figure out like why they're doing well, like how you can implement it to your own content, because like you have to remember that content for creators, like the content I make for you guys, is closer to like for creators, for people interested in writing, creating art. But the people who are reading your series are not all going to be writers, artists, creators, and stuff like that. So you have to make content for them that they will like and enjoy. All right, so here are the top 10, and there it is Love Stuck. Oh my good grief, I'm never going to get this series right. I feel like the creator is like, I hate you, Apollo. Every weekly review, you can't remember the name of my series, you can't remember what it's called. Disgusting. But there are the top 10, and again, I forgot to change the top from 3 to 10, so please ignore that. Just like pretend that there's a 10 there. But again, we can see like it's all different types of series. We can see that some series have never been in the top 10, and so like having all of this information is really useful in terms of like, just for me, it makes me feel like any series could win. So just don't give up in whatever you're trying to do, okay? All right, so let's talk about the top in each category. So if you have not been keeping up with your category, I can understand that. That can be very stressful. But for but for I want to say research, documentation purposes, I've got to cover this. Like, this is something I wish I had been covering from the beginning to see like the changes per category. And this is so interesting because, like, you know, we talk about the top 3, we talk about the top 10. There's so many series that are in these top 10 of each category that are completely different from what we've been seeing week to week. And I really wish that I had been keeping up with this from the beginning. It just did not dawn on me to look at each category. Store said, yes, it's so hard to kind of think like your readers without spoiling anything for them, haha, while marketing. I think it's actually pretty simple because, like, a lot of the content that goes viral for these creators have nothing to do with their series for real. Like, one of the creators, she's making a romance series, and like a few of her posts have just been like interactions between the characters that has nothing to do with the series. Like, one post was like them making food and it was just like a cute post. Another post was like the character going to like the doctor or something and they were shirtless and they were just getting there's a lot of stuff that I think you can implement that has nothing to do with your story but is attractive enough to pull readers to the story. Like, let your characters' personalities shine, let their design shine. Like, that could be enough to get someone interested in your series. Like, you just do not know. So looking at the top 10, we can see Red Whirl is there in the first place, but we can also see a bunch of seriously strong looking thumbnails. And I think it's also really important to study the different types of thumbnails that are on the platform because these, yes, this is your competition, but these are ones that are doing well. Like, they're doing well enough for people to click on them. And so just think about your series, think about what can help your series to stand out, can make it more attractive. And sometimes some of the series, it's like you would think like a particular look or a particular style would mean that this series would be like in top 3 or top 5, but then you see other series and you're like, oh, this style is doing better than these styles. So it just really emphasizes to me to not give up on whatever you're creating. And just because these people are in the top 10 does not mean that they are going to win, which is another reason I really wanted to keep up with this, because I feel like it'll be so interesting to see if they just clone stamp the top 10 and move them on to the next round, or if we're going to see a huge different, like a bunch of different series, because I want to track the information of like when they posted, like what are their stats looking like all of that stuff, because I feel like people, like, whenever they think about the audience participation part of the contest, they just feel like that's the most important. And I really hope Webtoons does not let me down and showcases that, no, we were looking for the best series in our opinion. Okay, here are the top 10 in feels, which this is so interesting to me because when we looked at Take Me Out earlier, it was in the top 3 for views, but we can see that Love Stuck is over it in this category for likes. So it just shows you, like, just because Take Me Out pushed it out of the top views, for likes, Love Stuck is in the lead. So there's so many different parameters that go into the data for this, like likes versus views, which is more important, comments versus likes. Like, there's so much that happens within these series that I feel like we just cannot underestimate who they're going to pick to be the winners. Here are the top 10 in gripping, which I feel like Vampiris is just doing so good with its numbers. Like there's no way it's not going on to the next round. And I don't mean that to be like braggy or anything, but I'm just saying, like, looking at this series and based off of the limited information that I have, because I'm sure Webtoons has so much more data. Like, if the information that I'm getting is showing that this series, without an editor, without marketing, like a marketing team from Webtoons, without all of that stuff, is doing this good, how much better will it do with our help? Like, having high views, having a high sub count, having a high like count, all of that stuff is relatively important because Webtoon is a content platform. Like, you have to provide content. Listen, y'all, stop coming for me. Oh man, I do think all of the gripping series though look so interesting. Like these thumbnails, they just look so good. I'm so interested in like gripping is apparently my genre because like every thumbnail up here I feel like is a 10 out of 10. All right, and then let's look at most laughs. Most laughs is probably the craziest platform of top 10 to me because like they're just so different. Like the vibe for all of them is so different. Like when we were looking at the gripping earlier, I could feel the vibe that it was gripping, that it was thrillery. Laughs is just like everywhere, and I love it because it just showcases like how different every series can be. Really, really, really excited to see who are going to be the top 10 for laughs. I think you guys already know who I would love to win in this category to be in the top 10 or whatever for the phase 2, the next round. So just keep that in mind. And I want to say to any of y'all, like, do not underestimate just because phase 1 ends. Do not stop working. Like, start putting in effort for, like, if you want to win into your, like, all of that stuff I think will be really important to Webtoons because I think Webtoons wants to see, like, it. Like, if create, like, if you're already this marketing, how much better will you be? If you're already this marketing, how much better will you be with the marketing team? Like, I want to see all of that. Oh, my good grief. Kind of annoying because it's like that's working pressure on the creator. I think that's something that you can't enter anymore after the end date series if this is something you want to do. Hold on. On my side, the stream is buffering. Still live. Okay. So here is my weekly report to you, and this is just all about putting the finishing touches onto series and really making sure that your series is the best that it can be. For those who have already entered, great, that's fine. But this is for people like me who are like really cutting it close to the deadline. There's still things that you can do to fine tune, and I feel like I probably would not, like, even if I was finished with my series, I probably would still, I would not enter until the last moment because I would want to refine as much as I could. Like, could there be panels I could redraw? I'm not saying to redraw panels. Do not do that. I'm just saying, like, if I had finished early, yeah, I'm sorry about the buffering. I don't know what's happening. I think we have some bad weather up here right now. So I think my internet is being a little finicky. But to all of the people who are out there that are really dealing with issues in terms of finishing or whatever, like you can still focus on refining things before you enter, but don't go too crazy. And this is just something that I thought would have been really useful to hear from the beginning because every creator, every writer, every artist has different strengths. And so I would say, what do you do best in your webtoon? Is it the dialogue? Is it the world building? Is it the art? Is it the character drama? And these are all things that you can include in your marketing strategies. These are all things that you can really push forward to make people interested in your series because you want to showcase what you do the best to get them there. So if your art style is a 10 out of 10, then you 1000% need to make sure that your series is reflecting that. If your character's interaction and the dialogue is the best, then make sure to spotlight that. Let the assets that you do best shine, and don't be like upset or don't be shy about putting those front and center. Like don't worry about people being like, oh, it's just a pretty series. Yeah, it is a pretty series. What's wrong with that? Like, what are you saying? Like, can you explain? Is your series as pretty as mine? Like, get defensive about it. So wait, what are you talking about, Vaughn? I think they have an updated guidelines you can check out too. Are you talking to somebody or are you talking to me? Oh. The newsletter says you can edit stuff. Okay. I mean, editing, I still take the editing option, unless you're talking about something they said recently. I still take the editing option as a caution. Like I'm very cautious about editing anything, because like after the close of the series, I feel like it's not right if you want to edit stuff. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like if you're missing a panel, like then you should be disqualified. Like you did not count this before you entered it. So there's like a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're not going to go into the editing thing, but so this is all I'm saying. Like, could you punch up your dialogue? Could you punch up the art a little bit? Could you add a little more rendering to a panel or two? Could you make those first 3 opening panels really shine and sparkle, like really make them super amazing? Like, these are the few things that if you are finished, you can go ahead and touch up before you enter. Like, I feel like it's really important to understand that yes, you want to enter, but at this point, if you haven't entered yet, take a few days and see if there's anything that you could refine before entering. So go ahead and focus on refining those few things before the deadline. So just do it. Just do it there. All right, show your growth across each episode. So this is also something that I think would be really important going forward for anybody who makes it into the second phase. Like, try and take in as much feedback as you can get when you're crafting your new episodes, because there's probably things that either you want to improve or things that maybe you didn't notice, and maybe you're not willing to adjust because you feel like adjusting is going to make the vision less. But remember, if Webtoons picks this up, this series is not going to continue. It's going to end on Canvas and you're going to start over. So you can go ahead and refine things so that the second phase episodes are really, really good. Like take in that feedback, and it doesn't mean that you have to agree with the series, but you can 100% help yourself round out your perspective on it, because there was so many things that I felt when I was working on my series that I got feedback from that made me feel like I was like, oh, this is super clear. Like the writing is really clear. And then when people would read it, they would call out different points that I felt like just was not working. So it's one of the things that I think is really, really important to make sure that you understand that feedback is important, and especially for a series that you are crafting over a certain amount of time. Next is you want to be super consistent. This is something that I also learned working on my series. Having to redraw characters over and over again is driving me crazy. And sometimes I do things because I'm not necessarily used to redrawing a character. So things might look different. They might look off. But this is something that you can perfect each episode. You can be like, okay, I know I need to focus on making this character look more like this character opposed to another character, understanding the different body types. And that'll be hard because if you're doing different body types, there aren't always references for those body types. So it's really important to understand consistency can help the overall experience for the reader to really make sure that they're developing a series that will have super high quality. So look for areas in your series that aren't consistent and really focus on how you can improve that. Yes, I agree with change. You got to reuse panels 100%. And then I will say, being coachable, I think that hold on, I think I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. Okay, no. Everybody's saying that it's working again. I'm sorry, guys, about the technical issues. But I really think that being coachable is something that's really important, because you're kind of entering into a collaborative situation with Webtoons where, yes, I do think that you have full creative control, but also I feel like if you don't take in any feedback, it can be very quick for Webtoons to end your series. And people don't talk about this. I mean, a lot of the originals are under NDA, but there are tons of series that go kaput after a few episodes. So do not underestimate the fact of being willing to work, willing to take feedback, any of that stuff. Because I feel, I don't know this for certain that every original experiences this, but I feel that it's going to be really collaborative during the beginning of making your Webtoon. All right, number 3, presentation matters. So if you have not posted yet, please make sure that your thumbnail looks great. It really stands out. I would even suggest taking your thumbnail amongst a group of other thumbnails and seeing if it stands out amongst those thumbnails or not. Because if it doesn't, it could be something really simple that could help it pop. It could be like desaturating the background. It could be saturating the background. It could be, doing a different character expression. It could be the lighting on the character. Like, there's so much that you could do to like increase the amount of clicks, the amount of views that you would get. And I feel like some of the best thumbnails that we've seen as we've been reviewing this series is the simpler thumbnails, the ones that have like very easy to read, easy to understand looking thumbnails that really shine and sparkle. And then make sure your title is interesting to an extent. Like, it's hard because, like, for instance, with my series, I don't know if it's the most interesting title, but it is very clear what it is. So I do think that sometimes you can make your title like have a level of interest that is, that makes the reader inquisitive. So just try and do something other than just doing a bland title. And I'm really hesitant to give a lot of advice on titles because there's so many different series that have really bland and simple titles that just work, or have titles that no one knows the meaning of and just work. So, just do your best. Just make sure it's not anything like really dumb, like that the time I got reincarnated as the side character but became overpowered, so now I'm the main character and I have to defeat a dragon, but to defeat the dragon, I must get the Great Sword of Infinity, which I know that I'll get because this is actually based on a video game that I read and I know how to get it, and therefore I will slay the dragon in this life. Like, do not make your title something like that. Like, other than that, you're good. You're good, okay? Okay, with the descriptions, I think it's good to make your description as punchy as possible. Like, for instance, my series is a combination of The Bachelor and The Hunger Games or Squid Games. And so I tried to do a huge variation of different, like, quick, punchy, like, log lines as the description to build interest. And I think about series like Tower of God, that's like so simple, so straight to the point that it just builds your interest and makes you want to read and find out what happens. It's like, do you want money? Do you want power? Do you want friendship? Well, whatever you want can be found in the tower. All you have to do is climb. And it's like, oh, interesting. So just think about like doing something that is really, really important to the series instead of being overly descriptive. Like, I personally feel like people don't even read the descriptions, but I'm just putting that out there for people who do. And then branding, so your fonts, your color palette, the vibe of the series makes your story memorable. And these are things that like readers find to be really important. So if your series is hard to look at because the colors are like too bright or they're too distracting or they hurt their eyes, they're not going to read long. If the vibe of the series doesn't match what the reader thought it was going to be, that can also be a turnoff to them. So you have to be really careful about balancing the way you present your story to your readers, because if you present it incorrectly and it could have been a simple fix, then it would be so disheartening to know that someone stopped reading your series because it was hard to read, the font was too small, or the colors were too bright. Like, those are all things that are easily within our control that we can fix and that we can do really easily. True God of Destruction said there's actually pretty longer titles than what Apollo said, unfortunately. Oh my good grief. There is this one series that legit, it was like 3 sentences, like full on sentences, not like yes, exclamation point, exclamation point. It was like 10 words. It was insane. Hi, King Lucas. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, be emotionally honest. This is another thing that I think can be a bit of a trap. the way you present your series does not match what your series actually is. So just think about this. No matter your genre, readers are really craving a real emotion from a series. And so this could be like if you're reading a thriller series, like you want to read thriller. You don't necessarily want to read romance. And so if they click on your series for whatever reason and it does not convey a thriller type series, this can be very upsetting to a reader. So think about things like fear, rage, shame, yearning, and you want to make sure that your characters are feeling the feelings that match your genre, that match what you're supposed to be conveying. And then if that's the case, your readers will be happy and they will feel what the character is feeling. So if the character's falling in love, it's a romance series, then readers are wanting to fall in love. They're wanting to feel those feelings. So just set yourself up for success. Do not do a reverse Uno on them. I hate reading a series when it's labeled as something and it is not that. Like, what do you mean this is a high fantasy series and we're in a suburb? Like, where's the high fantasy? Okay, so I thought this was a really important point that I read recently, but it said that stories that win hearts are the ones that get remembered and shared. And so I thought that was a really nice quote because mentally you are trying to affect the reader's emotional state, their heart, their mind. And so if you cannot connect your series to that person that way, then the series is ineffective, especially if it's your target audience. So make sure that your story has enough heart in it to move readers that would be interested in your series. All right, and so that will jump us into the question to the community. And I really want to know, how do you feel as the contest is coming to a close? Like, this has been such a long journey. It has been like 6 months of, for me, videos, 6 months of, working on a story completely. Like, I did not have this series made up before I started it. So it was literally a from scratch series. So from conception of the idea after the contest was announced to where it is now, 3 episodes later, it has just been like the craziest, most interesting, and most challenging like comic journey that I've been on. Like, I've worked on like other webtoon stuff behind the scenes, but working on this deadline has really emphasized to me like how difficult all of this is. And so I would just love to hear like what your thoughts are on it, how you're feeling, what are you proud of yourself? Because you should be. So let's do a brief Q&A. You can ask me any questions. I know that there was a lot of questions during this live stream, a lot of people interacting. We just had so much to get through. I was like, if I stop every time to interact, like, we'll be here for forever. Aya said, that's what I'm afraid for my comic. There is romance, but it's gonna take a while to get to the good bits. My characters are too young. They need to know each other. As long as it's presented correctly, like I know some people will put like slow burn in their series or whatever. So that could help set up reader expectation. Like, it just depends on how you want to do it. Like, just don't be disingenuous about how you're going about the series. And I think there are tons and tons of people that in the romance genre that love slow burn series, that really enjoy like seeing from the conception of the budding romance to a full bloom. So don't underestimate that. Nero said, I feel weird about the contest ending soon, to be honest. I feel weird too, because like, I feel as someone who's been covering it, it's really weird that I'm not going to be covering the contest as much. Like, I will still kind of like check in. Like, maybe we'll keep doing the weekly review up until the next phase is announced, because that is something that we could keep track of to see how the contest is going. Maybe I will do something like that. I don't know yet, because it would be interesting to see, like, with people no longer entering, no longer new entries, like what series start to really stand out and go the extra mile. Fawn said, do they fight or is the florist just like really good at arranging flowers? What are we talking about? Aryu said, my all-time favorite webtoon name is Strongest Florist. I remember laughing just at the time. Oh, Strongest Florist is hilarious. I love it. I love it. I stopped reading it because it was getting too ridiculous, but I was like, this was fun while it lasted. Matt said, the contest is a great motivator for newbies to finally take the plunge into making and promoting comics. Win-win for everybody. It is a really different experience. Aryu said, hope Queen's Games gets sent in on time. Can't wait to read it. I'm going to send it in on time. I promise. I promise it's going to be on time. Pollo said, I feel relieved low-key. I say it high-key, like we're all relieved. Sean, hi Sean, just rounding the bend on the final stages of my second entry. I'll just be happy it's done at this point. We covered done is better than perfection last week, so if you want to check that out, you definitely can. But I really feel that is kind of the goal at this point. But I thought doing something where it's like, okay, if you're at this point in the contest, like maybe just fine tune as much as you can. Look for typos, look for places where you could add maybe onomatopoeia if needed. It's not always needed. Sometimes I find onomatopoeia to be really weird in certain panels where it's like something is sparkling and then you include sparkle, which, okay, sure. And I mean, it's something that I see happen pretty often. So I feel like it's just the standard sometimes for things, but I don't know. Sometimes things are weird for me. So anyway, just do what you can. Just make sure that you enter. That's kind of the vibe at this point. Rosa said, I feel happy and nervous, but is a great experience participating. It was a lot of fun. I personally feel like so many people as terrible on your own. Like I don't in previous contests felt burnt like I do. I can't speak for everybody, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that like getting to chat with people and hang out for a little bit, like taking breaks here and there. And I had another outlet to like vent out my frustrations with YouTube here. But I also feel like I just think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had a safe space to kind of like do whatever I wanted, like without the expectations being placed solely on myself. Like I could like vent to y'all about my expectations and vent to y'all about like how I was feeling currently in the contest. Big said, I have read many of the entries, so I got lost, the confidence on winning, but it was just so much work that I'm really proud of myself. I'm finishing the last page of my third chapter. Do not underestimate yourself, Bix. Like, I promise, you do not know what Webtoons will want. And recently, if you guys did not see this, one of the CTA winners, their series is launching next week. Like, it's been almost, 2-3 years, and their series is just coming out. And it was one of the series, statistically, based off of the stats that I recorded, was really low. And so you just do not know what Webtoons is going to pick. Like, we will see, because we've been tracking it for the most part, if they're just going to do popularity wins, but I really don't think so. I really, really don't. Tulip, I agree. Tulip said I need 2 extra months. I could have used 2 extra months because I spent so much time working on my first episode that it kind of made me rush the last 2 because I really wanted a particular look for the first episode, but I just ran out of time. Like, I ran out of time for like certain panels that I had planned. I ran out of time for certain looks that I wanted. I ran out of time for certain design aspects that I wanted. Like, there was just so much involved that I was like, I've got to cut this if I'm going to make it. So we can still do this though. Lucid said, I feel like throwing up at this point. Listen. You're okay. You got this. Arisha, or is it Arissa? Arissa, it's been tiring and fun working on it. Now I just want to sleep for 10 days. Yes, me too. Did I... Accidentally like jumped way down. Van said, mine is a thriller, but it doesn't fit into usual genre tropes like readers might expect. That makes me a bit worried about my chances of winning. I will say for thriller, I think it's one of the few genres that you can be completely confused in and readers will eat it up. Like thriller and sci-fi are two of the genres that I feel that can get away with having their readers completely confused, because the whole time whenever you're reading series like that, I think like for me, especially as a reader, I would be like, am I dumb? I'm not understanding this. And that could actually motivate me to keep reading. I'm like, bruh, I don't understand what you just said. Like, why are these characters talking about this? Like, what happened? What did I miss? Like, I kind of get kind of hyped for stuff like that. And then like, especially in even like normal like murder mystery type things, it can be like, okay, so what are we doing here? What are we trying to figure out? Wait, who did that? Wait, that was important. So don't underestimate that. I think for your genre in particular, Van, like you'll be fine. Let's see. I'm creating an action and it's def a learning process. I feel that. I feel that. Nero said, do you think our entries will stay up after the contest? I'm confused on that part. I do. They always do. Like CTA entries stayed up. The one before that stayed up. I don't see why they would take them down. We'll see. But I feel like that's a lot of work for them to go through. Like, I think they'll still be up. Dashtan said, I'm speed running the coloring like crazy. I think I'll finish in time. This first chapter is out, by the way. Ab lovers, this one's for you. Oh, drop the name of the series, please. What's the name? Oh, you put it, Magic Sands. Should we look this up? I'm wondering. Maybe I'll save that for the next stream. Maybe I'll shout you out on the next stream. Are you following the channel? Vaughn said mine is a thriller too. I don't know how well people will receive a mass female main character though. I think it'll be fine. Like on Webtoon's platform, I think you can get away with female characters taking on any role, because I don't think there's as many people that are against non-conforming roles on Webtoon. Like I think you can have very unique roles on Webtoons without a lot of backlash. Now, outside of Webtoons, maybe it would be a red flag, but I also say if that's the story you want to tell, like, don't, like, stand on your business and tell the story. Kaylee said, I'm focused on getting my second episode out. I'm going to do something else for my third. Ooh, you're cutting it close. Cutting it real close. Cool Cat said, I won't be able to make the deadline on time, but I wish everyone luck and can't wait to read all of your series. I respect that. I really respect that. Sometimes you just know, like, this is the end. Nivelle said, this is my first comic, though, drawing, so it was a cool experience. It can be a really cool experience, to be honest. Like, it's something that I think people underestimate. Like, and I think a contest is a perfect chance for you to really see how much work could go into doing this full time, because it gives you that deadline. Thor's Store said, I feel like this competition has taken me out of my shell so much. I love seeing all the positivity in these chats, even when it can get so rocky. Yes. Young PJ said, I don't think I'll make it to submission date. Hey, just do the best you can. And even if you have, like, my plan is, even if my third episode is not finished, I'm just going to post what I have. Like, if all of the coloring's not done, it is what it is. I did the best that I could. And I kind of promised you guys, like, a series. So I feel a little bit obligated to go ahead and post what I have. So I'm just going to do what I can. And I'm just going to post everything that I have. So, like, episode 1 and 2 will most likely be 100% finished for readers. Probably not to my liking, but well enough where you could read and tell what's going on and be fully colored. Whereas episode 3 is probably it'll either be bare bones or it'll be it'll be decent enough, or it'll be unfinished. So we'll see. Artsy K said, I'm a little nervous to be honest. I have to keep my expectations from getting low so I don't get disappointed if I don't. Listen. It's okay to have high expectations. It's okay to believe in your series, and it's okay to want to win. Just remember that in art, it's all subjective. So even if you don't win, that doesn't mean your series is bad. It just means that the people who are picking just did not feel that your series fit the platform from a strategic standpoint. Because I personally think Webtoons is looking for series that vibe with the platform the most. Like, they're not going to invest in series that they feel would not do well. So every platform is different. Every publishing house is different. And sometimes you just have to find the right publishing house. Niall said, honestly, I'm excited for the end of this contest. This is a learning opportunity for all of us. So winning or not, we didn't get to this point empty-handed. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's taken away so much knowledge. I'm definitely planning on making a video about everything that I learned during the contest, everything that I felt like was really, really important that I've never heard people talk about publicly, like on YouTube, that I think could be really beneficial. Thorstar said, on the last newsletter, they said if you don't get shortlisted, you will be unenrolled from the competition, but you will stay on Canvas. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, the lag. I'm sorry. Tulip said, I'm very close to burnout. Oh no, you're so close. Don't burn out just yet. Rena said, I wonder what stage of the process is the most difficult for people. For me, inking took forever. Yeah, inking can be rough. I think the process for me that was the roughest was the feedback stage, because like I kept getting feedback from people and I kept having to refine stuff, and I feel like I could have been refining stuff indefinitely. Like, it was really, really interesting to get that amount of feedback from people, because it really did help to shape my perspective and see that from like a reader perspective. Just because I feel that something is clear and easy to understand does not mean that readers will think that. So I thought that was a really, really great phase that I learned a lot in. Anyone remember if you have to sign a contract to be shortlisted, or if that was for the finalists? I personally think that you'll have to sign an NDA if they want to move you on to the next round. And if you refuse to sign, then you won't move on to the next round. Kelton said, I just feel lucky to find this channel. I feel less lonely all cooped up in my creating comic. Great to listen to different perspectives on the contest. Yeah. I think that is probably one of the best benefits to working on the series together. Like, what the heck? There's so many people that are just interested in just hanging out and talking about comics. Trauma Fan said, I have my webtoon with 3 episodes, but some have less than 40 panels. Should I still submit? Do not submit. Add some transition panels. Do not submit. If you have less than 40 panels, that should be 100% disqualification. And if you aren't disqualified, I think that's really unfair to everybody who made it, who specifically did their best to have 40 panels. So, and I say that because I'm like, are we talking about interpretive panels where it's like a long scroll and that makes you feel like you don't have enough panels? Because that could be interpreted as multiple panels. We don't know how Webtoons will count that. But I feel like if you just have normal panels and I count your panels and they do not match, you should be disqualified. And I don't mean that, like, I'm not sugarcoating that at all. Like, I just refuse to sugarcoat that. Like, that's just not right. Oh my good grief. Pastry Master, how would you describe your work-life balance during the creation process? Insane. I have no work-life balance. I just come home and work on the episodes every day. Was it something you'd consider sustainable for full-time? No, absolutely not. Like it's something that I don't think I would be possible if I would have to contract everything out. Like there's no way. Like even if I was doing it full time, I don't think there's any way I could do this full time by myself. Insanity. Lucid Dream, I felt lonely at first when I started since this was my first time making a webtoon, but after finding this channel, it really helped me in pushing through with the contest. Yeah, exactly. Thor said, dude, I actually just want to finish so bad so I can binge all the contest entries, but pushing the 3rd episode and I can't wait to get it done. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I'm just like, just finish. At this point, just finish. Pollo said, don't be mad, Apollo, but I'm doing a 3rd entry. What? No, I'm what? What? Pollo, stop. Sean said I'm doing a thriller. What? Sean, we did not know about this. I need details. But this entry is such a departure from my other stuff. I really wonder if my audience will react positively. I think that's really cool, to be honest. Like, I would love to see what a thriller from someone who like specializes in fantasy type stories, what that looks like. Lucid said, to make y'all feel better, I haven't even started on my 3rd episode. That's scary. I hope you finish, to be honest. Young PJ said, I have over 90 panels to finish for line art. Listen, PJ. At this point, if your other episodes have 40 panels in it, just break it up so you can qualify. Like, I know you may not want to tell your story that way, but which makes more sense? Being able to enter the contest under the guidelines that were given to you and have the correct panel count for each episode, or finishing the story the way you wanted to finish and not making the deadline. Like, one, you have no chance. Another one, you have a possible chance. So I'm just like, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Like, just break up the episodes. Like, I'm sorry that your episode 1 will not end the way you wanted it to, but I think it makes more sense to break up your episode in episode 1 in a way that is like a cliffhanger-ish type way, in episode 2, which is still episode 1, and also a cliffhanger type way, and then like it makes more sense to draw like maybe 10 panels or add 10 panels to like a broken up episode to make it where there's a cliffhanger or there's a nice ending point, opposed to drawing 90 panels. Like, I just think that's insane. Vaughn said, my 3rd chapter is 100 panels and I've mostly only storyboarded it so far. Cut that down to 40 panels. Like, I'm sorry, just write it up to 30 panels and end it on a question. End it on, wait, what happened? And then that's the end of the episode. Y'all are crazy. 100 panels before the end of this contest? Insane. Do not do this. RU said, please clarify, if you get picked for an original, you are going to start over? Like, your current episodes are not going to be on the original? No. So whenever they pick up a series from Canvas, the Canvas series completely goes away, more or less. And you rework your series based off of Webtoon feedback. That's the way I understand it to be. Like, any series that moves from Canvas to originals, it always has that, we're moving to originals. And then once the new series releases, those episodes that were on Canvas disappear. So you will start over. Like, I could be 100% wrong here, but I've never seen a Canvas series go from originals to Canvas and they just reposted the episodes. You're going to rework those episodes because Webtoons want your series to succeed to an extent so they can get that fast pass money. RU said, you sign a contract after the 2nd round. You don't sign anything for the first 2. They might have you sign an NDA. Like, depending if they want to reach out to you early in the stage. So it just depends. Like, if they reach out to you for any reason, it'll be because they have something they want to talk to you about. Like, I do think that what you say, RU, makes sense that they won't reach out to you at that point. But I'm just saying, like, if they do, it's for some sort of reason, and they're gonna make you sign an NDA. Okay, so God, guys, y'all are commenting so much. Okay, listen. It's I was only gonna stream for an hour and we're over 6 minutes. I have my own series to work on. So like just do what you guys need to do. Comment on the video after it's over. But I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up here. I wish I could chat to you guys for forever, but I just don't have the time. So here is my creator shout out. Please pause the screen, take a screenshot, do what you need to do. I will also include a link to the series after the video goes up, but I'm super excited for this series. And Nero is somebody who is here in our community that has a really interesting series. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I really want to I really want to see more of this series. Like, I love all of the character designs. Like, every character 10 out of 10. Like I was so confused when I was reading it because I was like, wait, are those background characters or are those like main characters? Like, every character gave like huge main character energy. So please check it out. It is a fantasy drama series. It gives me like Radiant vibes a little bit. Like, it gives me, if you guys watch that, there was a new series that came out recently and it was like characters in a magic school, and like the main character didn't have any magic. He was like a paladin, but he wanted to be a magician. Anyway, it gives me that sort of energy. It's so good. It's so good. Kaylee said, how do you get creator shout outs? So I picked the creator shout out, but you can always leave a comment down below and I'm always happy to shout out anybody. The creator shout out specifically though, generally is somebody that has interacted with me personally a lot. So like, either we're mutuals or I'm a big fan of yours, or you comment a lot, or, you know, just stuff like that. Like these are generally people that I see. What the heck was that? Hold on. Okay, I think somebody hit a mailbox outside. That was kind of scary. But anyway, long story short, just like, you can DM me and I'm always happy to give a fellow creator a shout out. And thank you to all of my amazing patrons. Really appreciate your support during this contest. I know Patreon has been like having its ups and downs, but I am making content for it. I try and post at least one post a week, whether it's a video or it's like a written post or images. So just putting that out there. Just saying that to the world, that I do have Patreon. There is a free tier, so you can come and hang out on there. All of that stuff is is available to you. So please support. And with that, I will catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.